just the lighting in here, it's a bit all over the place. There, that's a little better. Hi everybody, how y'all doing? My name is James, or Zuktboy, or Kyle, or Umbra, depending on what, if any, D8 you listen to. Hang on, I have a feeling that audio might be coming through a little loud. Is that any better? Y'all let me know. Let me know if I'm being drowned out here by royalty-free lo-fi. Yeah, my name is James, or Zuktboy, or Kyle, or Umbra, depending on which D8 thing you listen to. I am a member of D8 Dungeon. We are a group of streamers, podcasters, general fools overall, who make TTRPG content for your enjoyment. Today I am going to be going through a little map making. Before that, since I've done the D8 plug, hang on, I'll drop in the chat there. Boom. Just in case you don't already know us, you probably do. I say that, you probably do if you're here, you know, not just assuming. We are also sponsored by The Rook and the Raven. Got to get that out there too, who supply lovely tabletop merch, whether it is journals or DM journals or binders for journals, mostly journals, but there's a link in there for y'all to go get some sweet stuff and support us. Today I'm going to be demonstrating for you Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist was released relatively recently. It is a result of a very successful Kickstarter, and it is a piece of map making software not dissimilar from Dungeon Draft, but for the addition of some AI stuff that lets you make big maps without really having to worry about the fine details. You'll see it as we go in. You can go in and adjust stuff, but by and large, it'll do stuff for you if it needs to. Dovda, what else am I doing? I don't know, floundering mostly. No, it's gonna be just Dungeon Alchemist for the most part. So I'm going to cut to that now. It has some other extra bits in terms of exporting stuff for virtual tabletops and all that kind of thing, so I'll give you a look at it now, but hang on till I get it open first. That would be a great start. Oh my god, it immediately crashed. I ran so many test runs and this hasn't happened at all. There's roll 20. Hang on. Try that again. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Way, there we go. Okay. Pop-ups aside. Also, I have a little lemon ginger tea here. Make sure you got some tea or got some food. Got some lunch, taking your meds, whatever you need to do. And you can come join. I'll still be here, don't worry about it. So this is Dungeon Alchemist. This is the overlay that you'd see when you open up a file. I already had one there that I was kind of working on. I don't know if it still has. No, it's brand new. But we're going to start from scratch anyway. We're going to go into Dungeon Alchemist. We're going to go into new file. We're going to go for a digital one of 21 by 14. The grid size is only a starting point. It only is fixed if you go for print. If you're not and you're going for digital, you can expand that out pretty much as needs be. So we're going to go for digital. We're going to start with just a standard tile set. And we're going to change it from... Let's change the terrain from jungle to forest, just to have something there. The elevation, we don't really care about that because we're going to be doing an indoor thing. There is, as you can see, it generates like a background and stuff like that. It doesn't do an awful lot insofar as generating terrain. It's not really made for you building terrain, although you can. And you can do it with some degree of customizability, but primarily it shines in indoor stuff. So flat elevation, we'll go for an evergreen clearing or broadleaf clearing. River, a lake, a lakeside, or an island. We'll go with a river for funsies, and the room placement will be at the water level. And then you click create. And then ideally it doesn't crash. It doesn't crash. Thank you. So you can see once we got that, we have a nice little grid here. We got a little river bisecting it. We got some trees. There are a couple of views you can take with it. You can go overhead, or you can also go isometric if you like a little slant to your tabletop. If you don't, then don't. Yeah, that's that thing in the corner. It's getting worse. There we go. Okay. We're gonna go top down for the moment anyway, and my idea for this has been also, is my cam a little laggy or is it just looking that way on OBS? My idea for this anyway is that we're going to do a tavern. You can't go wrong with a tavern. Strictly speaking, it should be set in the world of one of our properties, and it is. I can say with 100% confidence it is, but it's actually just going to be a tavern that is also a dungeon, but like a dungeon. Like a fun dungeon, a fungeon, if you know what I mean. A fungeon. So we're going to start with that. We're going to see if this can manage that for us. I'm not 100% sure if it can, because it's only come out relatively recently and I haven't spent a huge amount of time on it. So we're going to start with our tavern, and we're going to go with, what do we say? Little hallway to say hello to start with. Boop. Plenty of room there. Strictly speaking, I could have done with a little extra room on that. Hang on. Can I stretch? Let me stretch. Or is this going to add on another room? Sure is. Boop. Okay, this is going to be a learning experience, y'all. And that did nothing. Control, click, remove tiles. Not quite. Okay. Fungeon? I'm thinking more Fungeon cracks whip. I'm not saying it's for pride, but if you want it to be for pride, it can be for pride. There can be king for pride. Remove rooms? That is what I'm doing. Boom. Okay, thank you. Get rid of all that. We want slightly bigger hallway for everybody. Okay, we have our hallway. Boom. Wonderful. Love it. Where's the door? There. Slightly odd placement for the door. We can fix that later. Don't worry about it. We're going to be going into broad strokes right now. Oh yeah, sorry. There's 3 view options. There's flat, there's 3D, and there's isometric. So this is the flat one. This is the 3D one, and then there's the isometric one as well. We're going to go into... We have our little hallway now. Don't worry too much about the particulars. We can adjust those later. Right now, we're working with broad strokes, and this does really well with broad strokes. So, terrible phrasing on my part, and I apologize thoroughly for it. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, because my gosh, it has to be symmetrical. It was 5, not 4. And then we're going to push this puppy out into a main room. This is going to be our great hall. Now, you can just go completely random and have it kind of do its own stuff there. And you can also turn the AI off if you want to do all the manual placement and stuff like that yourself. But I don't, so we're going to play stuff and adjust it as needs be, you know? Oh yeah, absolutely, Zan. The question wasn't whether or not the kink has a place in Pride. Of course it has a place in Pride. I'm just saying, if we want our dungeon to... If we want our fungeon to be... because it's Pride Month, or just, you know. We have our great hall. Anyway, what do we have? We have a little fireplace, we have a little keg, that's cool, we have tables. Not really liking the positioning of our staircase. We can worry about that later. So, we have our main room. What else do we need here? Latrines are always good. You got to get a little row of latrines out here. Should they lead out directly onto the river? Probably not, but you know, different times, guys. So, little row of latrines here. Wow, okay, that's just one especially spacious latrine. Luxurious. We'll throw a pantry. We'll throw a pantry back here, I reckon. Stick that down that away. If y'all want, if there's anything you see while I'm doing this, by the way, that you would like to, you'd like to investigate, or kind of stuff you'd like to see added yourself, feel free to throw it out. This is for funsies. Bungeon, absolutely agreed, and agreed in the coffee. I've already got that, so I'm on my tea now. So we have one enormous latrine. Oh no, sorry, there are 3 toilets in here. It's just 2 of them are facing the other one, which brings an element to the Fungeon that I hadn't really considered and refused to consider any further. Couple hallways. Let's extend this out. I am a sucker for symmetry, so we're going to have 2 hallways out here. As you can see, it'll extend it out to it'll extend the map out to match kind of whatever you're doing yourself. Boop boop. Again, it's just randomly populating with stuff too. You're 5 hours behind us. Yeah, no, that tracks. That tracks. Although I generally don't, like, I wouldn't coffee in the morning. I tend to coffee in the evening. I tend to coffee in the afternoon, like around lunch or just before it. Not if for no other reason than I'm a difficult person. We have some hallways leading into the back. We have... what do we add here? We'll add some bedrooms. We might add a couple of bedrooms, actually. So we will expand these off of these halls. Coming out and off. Oop. We'll have one there. We can have one here. And then we can have one here. No. Small one here. Small one there. I've mucked up the symmetry. I've mucked up the symmetry entirely. Unless I make it a... actually, hang on. If we stretch it out this way, can we maintain symmetry? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not really. Well, kinda. Oh, well, I mean, look, that is an unfortunate side effect. But, whatever system works. You know? Okay, beds and beds and beds and beds. 2 here. Side by side. And then 1 out this a ways. How big is that one? I feel like that one's bigger. Let's see how we go. There's another one here. Boop. That's true. No real dungeon has ever had symmetry. But this is the bedrooms. We're going tavern /inn / Fungeon. It's got it all. So we have entrance hall, main room, latrine. Admittedly, could probably do it a few more latrines. We'll throw in some en-suites there, maybe. Maybe a little en-suite here and there. Boop. 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 Depending. Boom. And another. You can see that as it goes through, it'll adjust the room adjacent only insofar as it needs to. If it can fit everything, it will. There's no real thought to the structure. You can see here we've got, again, just a truly terrible toilet situation. Or maybe a great one. I'm not going to yuck any yums. Personally, I don't know how I feel about this particular bathroom layout. So latrines. This is going to turn out to be a huge map, just unnecessarily large. Especially if you scale everything as being 5 feet. But oh my gosh, ain't it lovely though? I would go to this tavern. I would go to this tavern all the time. / Fungin. I feel like... Oh, did I go too far on that side? I think I may have gone too far on this room. Hold up. Actually, can I just... Oop. Yes. I don't believe... Yes, the transition is wonderful. The little, like, geometry, you know, popping in and out is great. The modern options at the moment, not particularly. So we've got Mansion Village, Abandoned Ruins, Alchemist Lab, Castle and Crypt, and Festive, which is a gingerbread house. Okay, I wasn't aware that was in there. Mostly high fantasy setting at the moment. I think they will expand it. I think it was a stretch goal to add on a kind of a modern or sci-fi version that they did meet, but I could be wrong on that one. Either way, I'd say they'll probably add it when the time comes, because really it's just about making assets at that point. You know, they've already got the hard work done here. These are uneven. Never mind. I'm gonna keep going before I lose any more sleep to it. We got toilets. We got toilets aplenty. Let's see here. You've also got some options to rotate the overall room layout, which we can't see because it's behind some trees. Okay. Oh, I don't think that's rotating. No, it's not. It's refreshing. It's like regenerating all the stuff in it. Modern assets for the programs you've checked out. I know that there are a couple of overhauls for Dungeon Draft, but those are user supplied. I don't think those are native to it, or those are like, you know, add-ons that people sell. I can't remember where. I think 2 Minute Tabletop does some. I know you're aware of them as well. I'll have a look, because I definitely know some. Oh, right, you just mean modern, not sci-fi, sorry. That's true, it's an area that's specifically lacking, and I have had difficulty in that as well when I was trying to run stuff on Lancer. Because, you know, I didn't... You know, I don't know, do you know Lancer? It's like a mech future thing. It's not specific, like, you know, it's... People have, you know, spread out across the stars and stuff, but it doesn't go super heavy on the sci-fi elements. There are a couple, but by and large, it spans this huge distance. There's like an era when space travel was really, really hard, and everything took a long time. So the tech is less advanced, and then there's stuff from when it was really quick, and people have much higher tech as well. So trying to keep it relatively realistic, I had a real hard time finding maps that were just like standard roads and terrain and stuff, you know? Hello, Twiggy. We are, yeah, a tavern / Fungin. Wink. We have the main layout overall. Let's see, anything else we need here? Not really. A brewery, I guess, if we want to add on our own kind of stuff to it. Boop. That is the worst brewery I've maybe ever seen. That's I don't think that's how they work. Just 3 barrels in there. There you go. That looks a little better. That looks much better. I should be regenerating some of these rooms. Which of Declan's universes are we in? Well, here's the thing, right? There is no universe. I think I can comfortably say that there is no universe that Declan has ever created that would be remiss for the lack of a... That wouldn't be remiss for the lack of a bar/dungeon. Fungin. It's randomizing the doors as well, which is wild, but here we are. Okay, now, here's the only thing, right? I don't know that we can do layers here. I feel like it might have to be something else. Steam pop-ups there, denying my friends anonymity. Apologies, friends. It does... What's it got? View full screen, settings, camera controls. No, I don't think there's too much we can do in terms of levels. We can do some terrain alterations. But I think we might even actually have to do a second level. Or a second map, rather, to do a second level. I don't know if that's going to change in the future. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about it overall. There's an egg. So at least they've got that covered. It might not be like multi-level or whatever, but they do have baked egg. Damn, that's a good looking egg. Okay, edit room. Let's see if we can spice up some of these. We're going to refresh the layout on a couple of these. There you go. That's much more like a standard latrine. Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely phenomenal pooping experience. Baked egg. Yeah, weird. I assumed it was just like a geography thing. And maybe I wouldn't have been accustomed to the term. But I mean, that's definitely a fried egg, huh? Right? Anyway. Oop. What am I doing? Selecting editing rooms. So, this bedroom, most of these look fine. That's a little crowded. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's dice. The truly gigantic dice in terms of scale. So we might have another go at this room. Nope, that's sad. That's a sad room. That's okay. The perils of AI, y'all. We can go in and we can make these changes ourselves to what's actually in it. So I'll demonstrate that now, actually. Let's say we're mostly happy with this, but we're going to remove some of this stuff. Oh, you can add foliage. Treasure? Cobwebs? Oh, that's rad. I'm learning along with y'all. Oh no. Oh no. Is a baked egg like the type of egg that you would find in a McMuffin? Which I do love. Place objects. Can I remove? I can remove. Oh, I can strip the sheets. Won't let me rotate because there's stuff in the way. That's fine. You saucy minx. Okay. It'll let you copy, it'll let you remove. That's what we're going for. Is it poached? I don't know. I've only recently started to like eggs. I'm a grown man and I've only started to like eggs in the last, like, I don't know, year? Maybe 2 years? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, they just didn't do anything for me before. will stick this one in. No, gosh dang. Okay. There has to be. There we go. Okay, you get a little candle. Why not? Bedpan. Bedpan's very important. Very important. I don't think this is a bedpan. And I think it's important not to confuse those two. One chair. Can I put this on stuff? You can't put this on stuff. It looks great, I must say. And the little animations, even though they're not strictly necessary because you're not going to be playing any games in here, like within this software, are, I don't know, I just think they're really nice touches. A little bit of clipping there in the geometry, but you know, overall, I don't know, I think it's nicer than it needs to be considering. There's a lot of love gone into it, which I like. Don't need logs here. Don't need logs here, I would say. I would say everybody needs a chest. Boop. 1, 2, 3. Where should we put this? There. Bedpan. Can bedpan go under? Bedpan can go under. And it knows to go under. That's cool. What do you need? Well, sometimes you don't want to walk all the way to... Oh, right, yeah. I gave them all en suites. Well... I don't know. I mean, that looks cold. Not that the bedpan doesn't look cold, but that looks cold to me. And I don't know if I'd fancy it. So I'm just... That's my reasoning. Another chest. Boop, boop. I'm interested in if these have any other... Giganto jug. Oh, the bedpan doesn't let you scale it. Or does it? Enormous bedpan! Sorry, I shouldn't have shouted that. Tremendous. Okay, that's going in the Fungin. Realistic. I'm not going to go into this level of detail with everything. I simply do not need to. Get rid of that. Don't need that. This one's got a bear skin and a Fungin entrance. I like the idea of the Fungin entrance in the pantry, although I do not want it facing that way. Will you turn? Does seem to have some difficulty, like, I understand it not wanting to clip into other geometry that's there, but if turning it all the way around would get it to a point where you would be okay, I don't see why it's a problem. You know? Okay. I've made a grievous error. Control Z a lot. Yeah, we're gonna have to try and figure that one out. Anyway. Oh. Nope. It's just kind of dancing now if I scroll enough. It's just... You need to stop this. Okay. So, we have our pantry. We have our main hall. I actually quite like the look of the main hall. The only thing, I like the dice things on them. I think those could afford to be smaller. Dice are not that gigantic, except for the gigantic ones. Oh no, what was clipped? What did I do? Giant bedpan? Was it for giant bedpan? Can I select multiple things? Doesn't look like it. I think it's still early access, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way. Oop. Nope. Nope. Oop. Oh no, it takes the whole thing. It takes the whole arrangement if you go to copy it. Oh, that's cool. So we have 3 gaming tables. And we'll go 3 jug tables. It is still early access. Okay, so yeah, it only actually launched in early access relatively recently. Overall, I think it's fab. I personally have trouble with and yeah, I tried shrinking it, Twiggy, but it did not do it. I'm using your screen name instead of your real name so you don't get doxxed, just in case you think I'm being weird. Yeah, no, cannot be shrunk. That's as small as it goes, unless, again, it's a geometry error. It is still early access. It's great for like someone like me who likes having a map there to show people. Doesn't always need a huge amount of thought or effort put into it. The thing with Dungeon Draft and stuff being that, like, if you just throw down a room, it'll just be an empty space. And it's up to you to do all the legwork there in terms of populating. And you can get map packs and stuff like that, and there are a load of great creators on Patreon who are doing it. But if you just want something quick and easy thrown together that is functional, then I think something like this is great. You know, we've spent a lot of time in this one, but it doesn't need to be quite as complex. How dare you? How dare you say I'm being weird? Banned. Ban her. I could do it. I won't. Should we change? No, we're gonna keep the lovers lose, and that's what we're gonna call them. They're lovers lose now. Everything else. I mean, look, I've given a good enough demo of the whole thing. Might throw in a little door. Boop boop beep doop. Structural. Doors are structural. Hence, doors are structural. Oh, Jacqueline, no, this is not the orphanage. Oh, honey, no. Wait till the second part. Wait till the second part. I mean, it could be. But there will be a fungin element to things, and I don't want you to, I don't want to surprise or upset you too much with that. Oh my god, the glare off that. Boop. I'm going to dish this in favor of corner stairs. Yeah, I'll keep that. Where's the making map we can actually use? You can use this for literally anything that involves a sensual dungeon. Don't tell me you wouldn't use a sensual dungeon. I know you. But no, this is well usable. Don't even worry about that. It's quite large. I don't know if you'd see use of it. You might have to clip it. Anyway. You're distracting me from my art. Banned. Oh, goodbye, Siren. I know her. And like, you know, don't worry about what I'm doing here, Siren. Anyway, it's all very chaste. That's the word I'm going with. Still can't find doors. Doors are their own thing. Right, that makes more sense. Okay, we need our front door. Let's get a nice door. Boop. I love the Hobbit door, though. Oh, that's cute. We'll go to Hobbit door. No, that looks awful. Never mind. Never mind. Back to... Yeah, no, it's okay. Does everything have doors that needs to have doors? Yes. By and large, the AI is pretty on point, I will say. The only thing I feel like this is missing is like an actual bar. Which, to be fair, kind of needs. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I could help. Any bars? Lots of peaches. Peaches. A peach on every table. Very important. Aubergine. Aubergine. Do we have aubergine? Nope. Shame. I would like a little bar. It might be a call me by your name, Peach. That's up to you. No, save this stuff for the dungeon. Gold Easter egg. Easter egg. Some of the inclusions for the early access part are a little unusual, I will say. It's very festive stuff. It's fine. Just a little bit odd. Let's throw in a nice rug. Nice rug in the welcome room. That chair is right in the way of the front door. Yeet. Do the peaches have a little bounce animation? Oh, they do. Bar. Just a bar. Nope, not a bar. Bakery counter. Okay. Dark room counter. It is a nice rug. I'd have that rug in my house if I owned property and wasn't a doomed millennial. Dark wooden counter. Let's go with counter. I'm so glad I was able to help. That counter actually needs to be further out. Boop, boop. Boop. Very user-friendly, I will say. I'm quite pleased with it. What I would love is a counter. Oh no, there's a whole lot past tavern counter. Screw this. Is this not going to... Oh, I'd love that to be reversed. No. Don't know why, I just would have liked it pointing to the left. Feel like it looks weird pointing to the right. Let's just flank it on either side and have it point out. Corners. What kind of puzzle are we talking? Do we got a name on that puzzle? Boop. And let's stick a little bar person back there. That's slightly odd. Anyway, we're not gonna worry too much. Is the other one not pointing left? Which one are we talking? This one? No. Oh, hang on. Are these already two separate pieces? They are. What is going on here? Huh. Anyway. Boop. It wouldn't do to spend too much time on it anyway. We got fungeons to build. The peaches are mandatory. Stairs up, stairs down are in the pantry. Possibly a little unsanitary. We'll work on that. Yeah, I think. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I right-clicked several times and I'm scared. Oh no, it's fine. We're fine. Everything is Coyote Ugly style in the world of D8. What's the overall like multiverse? You got a name? We're gonna save it. We're gonna save it as what are we gonna save it? Y'all can give me a name for the tavern. I trust you. I trust you not to make it weird. Just call it Coyote Ugly. Owlbear Ugly. Hideous Owlbear. Heinous Warg. I like Discreet Retreat. Discreet Ugly Coyote Retreat. I'm just going to save it. It's just for that. We're fine. Okay. Now, the Fungin element. There's a whole second part to this where I show you how to import it into Roll20 or Foundry BTT if you use either of those. But we'll do the Fungin first. So, file, new map. For this one, we are going, oh my gosh, Twiggy. You were banned. Nobody heard me do a little burp there, right? The correct answer, of course, is no. No, you didn't. I'm sorry, I was just so shocked by the idea of the limp noodle. Okay, so we're going digital grid again. We're going dark parchment because this is going to be underground, and that doesn't worry about any of the rest of that stuff. So it just gives you blank. We are going crypt. So what do we know? We know that the crypt was from a room up top. I can't remember the dimensions of that room. We're going to say it's this big. Beautiful. Absolutely sparse. But I feel like that's welcoming. I feel like that has like a spa vibe to it. Maybe not tombstones. Okay, those are stairs going down. We want stairs going up. Where are you? Stairs? Stairs up. Stairs. They are both labeled stairs down. Here's the thing. I guess technically all stairs are stairs down and stairs up. But that is not what I was looking for in this instance. There we go. This part doesn't need to be too intricate, so we won't worry too much about it. I feel like a welcoming kind of room is good. I feel like a long hallway. I feel like a long hallway to get to where you need to be builds suspense, tension, and eroticism. I've decided that I'm never going to say that again just now. So you're welcome in advance. Okay, Fungin Dungeon. We have our hallway. I'm curious as to what the crypt looks like in a great hall. Should I actually, yeah. Do you know what? Let's stick some cells. We're going to stick multiple cells along the hallway to kind of get you accustomed to what to expect here. Now, strictly speaking, there should be a wall in between those. I don't think it's just random space staring into nothingness. But anyway. Excellent. Okay, we've got shackles, we've got skulls. Maybe the skulls aren't necessary in the Fungin? There's a whole question really here, isn't there, as to whether or not in a world where dungeons are a regular thing, does a dungeon hold the same sex appeal as it might do in our world? And if I'm being real, I would say the answer is probably no. But that's not what we're here for right now. I think we've got these. These are probably for exhibitionists as such. Maybe not open doors, but definitely windows. A lovely bay window. No. What do we got here? A lot of very plain windows in here. Very high window. I like that. I like that. That to me feels interactive. Which you want your dungeon experience to be, you know? So we got some viewing windows. Excellent. Doors, single doors. What is the sexiest door? This is very dungeon. That is a secret door. Secret door is a great idea. Okay, not secret door here. We're gonna go. I think this is good, but I like the secret element to it. Feel like, although I like that, I like the idea of there's this little like hook thing that you pull and the whole thing turns around. Interesting. Also, that's going to be interesting when it comes time to import it into one of our VTTs, because a lot of them have, well, Foundry anyway has it set so that if a door is secret, the player won't automatically know it's there. You have to reveal it to them, so I'll be interested if it carries that over. But anyway, let's see what decor we have for our fungeon. We have gingerbread stuff. That's not really the not really the aesthetic we're going for. Some of these are lovely. But not what we're going for. So objects. Candles are important. Candles in a dungeon are in a fungeon are extremely important. As is a brazier. You can't overstate what a brazier brings to the table. What is this? Oh, you pick the color of the lighting. Oh, fun. Do we want to go with kind of standard lighting, or do we want to go with eldritch lighting? Hello, weary warlord. Welcome. There's nothing suspect going on here. Eldritch green lighting, standard lighting. It is a dungeon. It's a fungeon. Or is the Eldritch green lighting a little St. Paddy's Day? Is that maybe not what we're going for here, do you think? Oh, excellent. Don't perceive nothing. Perceive nothing is the best way to go in this. You like the Eldritch green? Okay, we're gonna go Eldritch green. I think... Oh, there's a lot to be said for it. You know, the dark arts get a lot of slack. But they can also be extremely sensual. Boop. Boop. Nope. There we go. So this is your viewing hall. Very important to know what you're getting yourself in for as you step down into the dungeon. I could do it a little bit more dungeon decor. Benches. Benches are nice. Benches are nice. I mean, look, realistically, there's just certain things we're not going to find in here, huh? You know, we've got to prepare for that. We got to brace ourselves for that. Why don't I have a camera? Do you mean in dungeon, or do you mean? Oh. I don't know what we're getting at here. Benches, nice benches, very important. Choir bench, I don't actually really like that association. I don't like that the association of the choir thing, but you know, it's nice. It looks good. We'll take that. Have I been in isometric this whole time? I guess I have. That's okay. Oh no, I'm controlling that. It's a fungeon, right? So this is, hear me out. This is attached to a tavern, and not strictly. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, you know. That's all I'm saying. This is a voluntary dungeon. That's how I choose to phrase it. This is a consensual dungeon. I look, I'm trying to keep on brand. I don't really know what I'm doing here. You're gonna have to bear with me. Ooh, little fountain, lovely. Love that for us. I mean, maybe. It could be. It's up to you. Neither do we. That's why we're here. Enthusiastic interactivity, not latrines. Mirrors. Interesting. Baths. Oh, we've got the Geralt bath. Oh, folks. Well, this changes everything. I feel like the Geralt bath is essential, an absolute necessity. What? Okay, I've accidentally made this candle extremely large. Say nothing. I know what we're thinking. There we go. Geralt bath. Oh, love that. Love that. It's a shame, actually. This would have been... There are elements of this that would have been really helpful in Castle Swallow, the last place our adventurers have found themselves in Romance in the Dungeon, which is the D8 podcast. Now, that was a spa. That was completely above board, and there wasn't any sort of shady business going on whatsoever, as far as I've been led to believe. But wash basin, very important. Towels, very important. I feel like that should be... No, hang on. What have I got here? I'm losing run of myself altogether here. Oh my lord, the beds, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we have tremendous beds here. Enchanting table. Obviously there's magical stuff going on in here. I shouldn't have been let do this stream. And if anyone asks, I'll be the first to admit it. You're not green enough. There you go. Some more green on you. I'm so sorry. I know. I've never actually watched Acquisition Link. I do have the... Do I have the book? I do have the book. I was gifted the book. It seems great. I just never got around to watching it. That's the one with... No. Is that the one that had, like, Holly Conrad and... Or am I thinking of another one? And Pro Jared before all that stuff went down? No, I think Acquisition Inc. is pretty chill, right? There's nothing unseemly going on. Next, I think I've spent enough time on our cages. Again, this is just the entrance. This is just the vestibule as you go in. I feel like several stacks of towels would be good here. What's that? I don't know what it is, but I think it sets a tone, and tone is very important. It's an octopus. I think it sets a tone. No, actually, I hate that it's flat on top. I don't like its flat cephalopod head. I think I'm going to remove that immediately. More look at tabs. Oh, you can turn collision on or off. That would save a lot of time in my rotating of things. Used tell. Oh dear. Contextually, that's not great now, is it? I mean, that also sets a tone. No, bring who back? Oh, the squid thing? Absolutely not. Hard no. Hard pass. I'm drawing a line here. Oh, tremendous. Love this. Love that. Okay, next room. Next room. I'm getting too into this section here. Chapel. Again, probably not. Probably not the move. We're gonna go straight up dungeon. Give the people what they want. Is it the octopus? Again, no judgment. No judgment. Okay, we're moving on to dungeon. Let's see what it gives us. Okay. I mean, that's a bit sparse, really, isn't it? I would like to see more stuff. Coffins are a great start. Now, I would expect a coffin for 2. Minimum, realistically. I don't know what's in that well, but I like that too. It just feels like it's all very sparse, though. It feels like we need a little more. A little more in there. Ooh. Are the pillars too much? What do y'all think? I think they might be a bit too much. But you know, you gotta have something to like shackle people to. You can't just have them all with these balls and chains on the floor. It's ridiculous. I think we're maybe gonna have to just manually exert our collective will on this. Ain't nothing doing it for me here. The context in which I said that, when I say ain't nothing doing it for me, I like to point out that I don't. This is strictly business here, right? I am in the business of fungeons, and business is good. I'm going to go to the bathroom for 1 second, so y'all sit tight, and I'll be back soon. Think about fungeons. Think about what you want. How y'all doing? What did I miss? Good notice in the hydration. Everybody get some water. Get some tea. Get some moonshine. Get some absinthe. I don't actually know of any other like heavily. I mean, there's the general spirits, but you know, just get a drink, have a stretch. If you need to, roll your shoulders a bit, unclench your jaw, etc. I got nothing else. My dungeon has not really inspired me. This main area of the dungeon. In fact, first of all, scrap it. Bigger dungeon entirely. Nope, not that big. Okay, that's the kind of thing you would do to be cruel to your Sims. Not that I've ever done that. I love my Sims very much. 7. 7? Yeah, we're good. Hello, Noonbell. Hello and welcome to the Fungeon. We've got fun and maybe games. Probably games. That's usually what you get in the Fungeon. This is... I don't think it knows what to do with the amount of real estate I've given it. Really and truly. No. We're gonna have to... what do I mean by what? What do I mean by games? I can't... It would be against TOS for me to go into further detail there, realistically. We've also got chocolate. Invisible chocolate. Okay. It's not going to get me there. So, let's just start throwing stuff in, seeing what we land on. Burial chamber. That's someone's thing, I'm sure. What are games? Beats me. I'm just the architect. Just a dungeon architect. Chapel. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Little wing there. Okay. I think we can work with this. For those of you who have joined and aren't aware, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. My name is James, or Zuckboy, or Kyle, or Umbra. I'm a member of D8. We stream, we podcast. The podcast is Romance in the Dungeon. Streams are Saving Grace, which is every second Thursday, and Rise of the Forsaken is every second Monday. I'll drop a link in here. You can go and watch more if you'd like. But right now, I'm doing a little map making. And this is Dungeon Alchemist. It came out relatively recently in early access after a very successful Kickstarter. And we are making a Fungeon. And the Fungeon is exactly as the name implies. Let's decorate. Let's decorate our dungeon. Walls. Floor tiles. Actually, no, that's fine. That's fine as is. I can't go back. You have to move forward. Floor tiles. Okay, so I don't mind this. I think this is fine. Should it be wooden? Definitely not carpet anyway. We can say that much. Oh no. No. Ruins the aesthetic completely. We're not going wooden. Oh, although some of these. Black marble? Black marble Fungeon? I like Greco-Roman. No, I don't like that. That looks like carpet even if it's not supposed to. What else? We got some tiles. Just a giant chessboard. Very, very sexy. Gigantic chessboard. Natural, no. Okay. Fungin objects. Gold statue. Gold glowing statue. Very sexy. Gold glowing statue with multiple lighting options. Love that. We're going with our green. Should really change these as well. We're going with our Eldritch green kind of stuff. Boop. After I've got this done, I am going to show us all how to export this into Foundry or Roll20, the two most popular virtual tabletop offerings. Personally, I use Foundry. I haven't really looked back since I moved away from Roll20, but both still very popular. And Roll20 has been overhauled lately, to be honest, so you know it's got some good stuff going for it too. We can only assume whatever's in that book is also very sensual. Boop, boop. Okay. Now, we really and truly need to adjust this room. We have our secret door. This is nothing. This is nothing. I think we could have a couple of these and they could be in a wall. What do y'all think? We could just have a row of them. Is it snap to grid? It's not snap. Oh, if I hold control, I can toggle snap to grid. That's helpful. That's extremely helpful. I like these. I think we could do it more of these. Have I left everything off? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, yes. I've ruined it. Cancel everything. Boop. Boop. It'll do. It's fine. Were those present? I hope you're having a good Saturday. What is this? Yes, absolutely. This is our door. This is our door to... I don't think that can be a church anymore. I think that needs to be a bedroom. In fact, I think there need to be multiples. Oh, what kind of issues have you had with Foundry? That is the thing. Like, I mostly run D&D in it, and that's very well established. I've had some... Well, the version of Lancer that's in there is quite basic. There's also a version of Heart, The City Beneath, which is by Grant Howitt. It's a great system, but it's still in its infancy in that. Can I change the... No, I'd like to change the curtain color. It's a shame. I like that carpet. Couple of cages. This is a public Fungin. Statues. Golden Imp. Golden Imp, that's got a place here, I'm sure. I think pedestals are good as well. That's as big as the pedestal goes. Weird. Okay. Golden Imp. Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's probably a little too much. Does that get bigger? It does get bigger, but it also gets much smaller. Okay, that looks fine. Perfect dungeon centerpiece. Not too overstated at all. Imp, where are you going, Imp? Here you go. Bit of unfortunate clipping with the tail there. And we remedy that. Oh, perfect. Excellent. Looking good, Imp. Lady of Darkness, obviously. statue of the Lady of Darkness. I would argue that they are both statues, but who am I to judge? On with the Lady of Light. Lady of Light, absolutely. Okay, well this seems unfair. How come the Lady of Darkness is so teeny tiny? Doesn't have that pedestal. Oh, I like this. I like this little wooden imp. This little pervert scribe here. That's great. Love him, her, it, them. They are a welcome addition to the Fungeon. Sculpture of the Demon's Bottom. Well, how did you know? Oh, well. I mean, let's see how small it goes. Is that too on the nose? Is Sculpture of the Demon's Bottom a little too on the nose? The Star Wars FFG one was pretty good. No support for BSM or Kids on Brooms. Oh. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's weird. I would have thought... No, I know Big Eye Small Mouth, but I would have thought that Kids on Brooms would have been popular enough to maybe warrant an actual system in there as well. Can't seem to... Unfortunate that these are difficult to line up size-wise. You'd think if you made them as a unit... Oh, we got it. We got it. Quite a few people working on modules now. It's got one working. That's a shame. Hopefully they manage it soon. That side of things I'm not particularly good with. I'm just lucky that there's so much support out there for 5e. And the Lancer, like the people who made it themselves are all also fairly invested in making sure it's got a lot of support on that side. So it was already pretty easy to integrate from what I gather into Foundry. Pedestals. I'd like a Lady of the Light to go alongside our Lady of Darkness. Also, she should be giant. There's one thing that Resident Evil 7, I think it's 7, taught us about ourselves. It's that we love a giant woman. Big did you go? Oh no. Okay. See now, have I gone overkill? Is this too much? I've lost focus, guys. Folks, I've lost focus. This is supposed to be about... Well, you know. Which of these is the most provocative? Okay, we got Pervert Imp again. Oh, you can load stuff. You can load your own pictures into the paintings. That's rad. Oh, that's so cool. I know that sounds like a small thing, but I love the idea of like just very discreetly sneaking in pictures of all my friends into the dungeon that I'm going to have them run in. Especially if you get like, you know, those there's those websites that let you like give it a photo and it'll do it up like a kind of like an old-timey fancy person, like one of these. Feed your friends' faces into that, slap them into it, and load that up. That's so cool. I like that a lot. And hello, lol gamers. Nice to have you here. Oh my gosh, I'm going to make so much use of that. I probably won't put my friends... Oh, okay. I probably won't put my friends' faces in here. Also, extremely rad. I'm not going to put this here. I don't think it has any place in the Fungin, but I love it. I can't actually... How far out do I need to zoom? And are they being randomly generated? They are. Ah! Who's that little friend? Again, doesn't have a place in the Fungin, but I love it. The ones on the left and right are fine. I think they would actually be a good fit for the Fungin, but I don't think that middle one's really what we're going for. Huh. I'm learning a lot about this program today. I don't think we need shields. I don't think we need any more wall hangings. I like the idea of more of these as our entrances. Okay, so more torture. These are all good. The rack, like the cages and the racks are good. Baths. Should we throw some baths in here? A wash basin. You gotta have a wash basin in your Fungin. Vital. Absolutely vital. Minimum of one wash station. It's gotta be big. You know? Will the towels go under there if I stick them? Oh, I love this. This is such a good program. It's like, I think it's pricey, don't get me wrong. I think it is a little bit on the costly side, but I mean, there's a lot gone into it. I throw one used towel in there because someone's nasty. No, it won't fit. Too large. Will it fit? No. Nope. Nasty person will remain unshamed. Although it's pretty as well. No, I think when you're building a Fungin, hygiene is important. So while this is all well and good, the upkeep, just not worth it, you know? The kind of stuff that goes on down here? Nuh-uh. I think we could also afford another bath. And I don't know how I feel about our serpent anymore. Especially seeing as we have one out here. With a little like smoky incense feel going on. Feel free to shout out y'all's Fungin ideas as well. If there's anything else you expect to be in here. Is this wash basin? Do you know what? I sized it up too much. I did. What I should actually be doing is having multiples. Multiple wash stations. Buy it. You. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean no? I understand what you mean by no. There. Scooch. Scooch. Little scooch. No scooch. You're doing me dirty here, Lady of the Light. Okay. I did not ignore you intentionally. I didn't see the original message. I don't think it showed up. That one's not on me. I will put Roz in a picture frame. I would have to get a picture of Roz. Okay. Hang on, let's see if I can find a picture of Roz. Ah. Roz Grey Purse. Let's see what shows up. Where are the toys? I googled Roz Grey Purse and Google is just showing me a selection of actual grey purses. So where can I find a picture of Roz? Bear with me, y'all. Should be on the Romance in the Dungeon Drive. Okay, let me just fill in all the detail for that in front of everyone here. Raws. Can't find the art of her. If you can find me a picture of Roz, or tell me the folder it's in, then I'll stick Roz in there. But right now, let's keep it moving. We got a bath, we got our wash basin. You know what, maybe if I shrink it a little more. A little more shrinky. There you go. A little more shrinky. No towels on that one. Stick some towels. There we go. Okay, so we got 2 wash basins, we got a bath, we got some cages, we got a variety of shackles and manacles. We have our demon bottom statue. Not sure how I feel about that. These chains are gigantic. And I feel like there needs to be... I feel like they're good to have, but you probably don't want... Maybe in the middle of the floor. Admittedly, I'd like to see some more implements here. I'm going to get rid of some of the skulls. I don't think they're fit for what we're going for. If I look up torture, will I be put in a database? No, I won't. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Some chain racks. Boom. Chain rack there. Boom. Now that's sexy. I don't care who you are. Couple Iron Maidens in there? Yes. She's having a good time. They're having a good time. Beautiful. Ditch all the schools. Ditch all the schools. That's not what we're here for. We know what we're here for. What else? Ahaha! Ahaha! Now we're getting into it. Now we're getting into it, folks. Not enough wall space here. And this has to be wall mounted, which I don't like. I would prefer it to be freestanding. This one's freestanding. Yes, we're doing it. So to speak. You sent me some raws? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Hang on, I'll play some more of these and then I'll get raws going. God. I can't... There's no appropriate way for me to phrase literally anything right now. The rack is good. Rack's great. Great rack. Dreadful. Truly awful, and I apologize. I can only apologize. I think I definitely want one of these. Cuts a lot out in the walls beside it, huh? Let's swap these around. Very close. Everything's very closely grouped. I thought I was giving enough space for everything, but oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Is the statue of the demon bottom taking up valuable real estate here? Realistically, does it need the top half? Coffin goes on there. Beautiful. Beautiful. What else we got? Freestanding cage. Freestanding cage is decent. In fact, actually, I'll swap one of these out for freestanding cage because variety is important. No to what? No to removing the top of the demon bottom statue. I mean, look. It's just not important. Bite me. Stocks. Love some stocks. Excellent. Declan's not here, right? Declan's not here to see what I'm doing to his like, beautiful, like, lovingly crafted world, no? My stocks. My stonks. I feel like I've got nowhere for the stocks now. Stocks? Just stick them right out here. Maybe stick them right out here. You got our secret bookshelves. You got our viewing windows. Benches, places to sit are important. We've no beds, now that I think about it. But maybe that's not really what we're going for here, you know? Any natural stuff we can put in? Yep, this seems... Just leave that there. Reasonable. Okay. Okay. This is maybe going too far. I had been considering an aftercare room, Zan, you're right. Okay. Let me know when I've gone too far, right? I'm trusting all of you to know, because I'm too invested now, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to. Egg. How big's this egg get? Pretty big. No. Remove the egg. Remove the egg. What seems like a poor decision? There's so much here that could be a poor decision. That could be construed as a poor decision on my part. Boop. Boop. How big can we get this bed? Alcove. No, that ain't doing it for me. Find a bed. Regal furnished bed. Oh, trusting you to stop me. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, that wouldn't. I mean, look. There's no accountability here. Okay. That bed is probably, safe to say, too big. Too large is that bed. If only for the fact that the bed frame makes it so that you can't actually get in there. I don't. What did you have in mind? Oh, do you have like a load? Right. That makes sense. That probably makes more sense, arguably. Let me see. Well, let me see how that looks is the only thing, because I don't know how that'll translate. Oh no, that's. Oh, it won't. But if I turn collision off, it will. Excellent. Wait, where'd you go? There you went. Turns out it was only collision stopping us the whole time. And then some... We turn collision back on. For viewing. Thank you. Oh no, I mean, I don't think this will actually violate TOS. Hang on. I do believe I've been provided with a picture of Ra's grey purse to include. Y'all bear with me. I'm gonna get a picture for this here portrait. Just realized I haven't saved this. That would be terrible. I'm saving this right now as Fungin. Boop. That has saved or crashed. No, it's saved. Or crashed. Saved. Phew. Terrified. Early access stuff. You can't trust it. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay, we have a lovely picture here of Ra's grey purse that we're going to get. Save that. And then you. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's perfect. But I think it's only fair if they're in every room. This is tremendous. This is Ra's grey purse, for those who aren't aware. She is our she is the love wizard in quotation marks, of Romance in the Dungeon, who intros each episode. Beloved icon, mascot, pervert, and well warranted. Fully deserving of her place here. That's so cool. I can't get over that. So, we have that. I'm also cautious of the time. I've been going for an hour and a half here. So, first of all, everybody, if you haven't already, hydrate, stretch, do that sort of good stuff. Roll your shoulders. Everything is cracking right now. Dreadful. And then secondly, I think I'm probably going to wrap this part soon enough and bring us to Foundry and Roll20 to see if we can import these with walls and with collision and with all that sort of fun stuff that you would like to have. Is this enough in here? Is this enough? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the stalactite. That was juvenile. And that's not what we're about here. This is a classy affair. I think drag this over, make a copy of it. I think we need more. That's the thing. And a copy of that. We need to be accommodating. Let's throw that wherever. That's fine. Maybe another Iron Maiden? For good measure? Maybe not. Maybe not. She's a lot. She's a big lady. I haven't really done anything with these two rooms. I guess we could just throw individual beds in there. Let's throw individual beds in there because, you know. Probably not bunk beds, huh? Dirty pillow. Oh, no. Why no? Why no? Ditch this. A restroom. Restroom would be good, but what I would think of there is that it would need, like, there was talk of the aftercare room, and I feel like that's just a quiet room, really, isn't it, at the end of the day? The quiet room, so we throw a bed in there, we throw a nice bench to sit on. Get rid of the skeleton jug. No joke. Flowers. Refreshing lava font. Oh, you can't change the color on that. That sucks. Okay. So, mirrors. No latrines down here. Should probably have a latrine. Just seems like good practice. Oh. Grab palette. Nope. Don't put it really. No. No, no, no. No mace. Maces is too much. Mace is too far. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's for jousters. Bondage, like gear, like mail. That's fine. Beautiful. What else goes in a choir room? What else goes in a choir room? Baked egg? We love baked egg. Not a gingerbread. Roast swan? Probably not. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe that's all you need in the choir room is a little place to sit or lie down. You know? Give yourself some time to breathe. Oh, bathtub would be good, actually. Okay, bathtub goes in this room then. Boop, boop, boop. Bathtub. We have multiple. I would like a relatively modern fancy bathtub. Fancy bathtub. So we got our fancy bathtub and let's say a little bathroom table. And is here where I put the latrine? Should I have the... I mean, you gotta have a latrine somewhere. I'm like... It's fine. It's fine. We'll stick it there. We'll give these guys a bed. There we go. Okay. Look. I think that's decent, right? That's enough. You got your entrance room, little fountain, little Roz there to greet you. You've got your viewing chambers. You've got main room. And you've got your little offshoots. That's fine. That'll do. That'll do. We're gonna save it. Now, where do we go from here? We're going to export this for use in another piece of software. We're going to start with Roll20. I don't really know how to do it, so let's see here. If I go to settings and I go to export, what do we have? We have Foundry. Oh, it does Fantasy Grounds as well, and it does Roll20. It does Universal VTT. I don't know if that's a thing, and you can have an image of it. I'm going to go with Roll20. And what do we got? We got perspective. We got limited perspective. And we got orthographic, which cuts away the walls entirely. I think we're going to try it with perspective. Limited perspective, actually. Render, license image, and export to the VTT. So you can have them working as you can activate as you'd like. Image quality, that's fine. And then export size, normal borders, color scheme, color, grid on or off. We'll leave it on for the moment. Let's go export. We're going to save Fungin as a Roll20 export. Great. Okay. And then we're going to also export it for Foundry. I think we can keep all those settings the same. Export it there. Okay. Map export complete. With that done, we're going to exit out of this. And we are going to see now. So we got some stuff here. We got importing into Roll20. Add the script to your campaign. This is immediately more effort than I thought. Roll20, settings, API scripts. This only works if you have a pro subscription. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to be able to show you guys how to do that. But just know, for future reference, that if you do choose to use this program, and you have a pro subscription to Roll20, then you can import it, and it'll add walls, and it'll add lights, and all that sort of stuff. So, that's a no on Roll20, unfortunately. Goodbye, Roll20. Importing into Foundry. That's what we're going to go for. So, export in the right format, that's fine. Create a new scene, import data, configure, and choose the JPEG. Okay, so it's a two-part system here. Let me bring up Foundry. Oop. So, this is Foundry VTT. If you haven't used it, it's a lot like Roll20. If you haven't used Roll20, I don't know. It's this. We are going to follow the instructions. We're going to create a new scene. We're going to call it Function. And this is all fine. Let me see what the next part of the instructions was. Create a new scene. Right click it and import data. Right click. Nope. Right click. Import data. Choose file. What do we have? We have a Function JSON script. So we have imported that. It's a little bit tough to see, but now we have doors here, and we have walls here, and we have lighting here. Really cool. Really easy to import and set up. Then we right click and go to configure and change our background image to Function, the picture. Function the JPEG. There you go. Ready to roll. Literally. The angle of it isn't what I was expecting. I was expecting like this side here to be at the front. So that's a little bit funky, and I don't know how to rotate that. But again, it's all early access. Might remain to be figured out. Hang on a sec. Sorry, just had to clear my throat. So, now we have our function. I will make a player. Patron. Boop. And we're going to assume that they have a vision of... Yeah, assume they have regular vision for the funsies. Bring them around. So, as you can see, all the walls are in place. All the lighting sources are in place. I can go in and I can disable these, which would leave this player in... Well, not in the dark, apparently. Ain't you on? See? Okay, they can walk through. You don't get to see the photos in that view. That's true, actually, but you can change the angle of it. You can change it and have it be isometric. I think, for the export. I know you can do it in software. I don't know if you can do it for the export. I'll have to see. But you can see here that it has doors. They work as they should. It has windows. They work as they should, hence us being able to see in here. These doors the players can open and close and navigate into. These doors here technically they should be secret doors. I don't think we'll hold that against them though. I think it's pretty good, all things considered. Movement site restriction. I think it's movement restriction. Is how you would. There you go, secret. So, setting them to secret doors means the players ideally don't see them. So they're not aware. They can't move through them, but they can be opened. You know, providing a successful investigation check or something like that. So then we've got our dungeon. Yeah, it's hard to make out the Iron Maiden here actually and stuff. So that is something. I mean, look, the other side of it is this is for use in like a virtual tabletop. If you didn't want to use it as that and you just wanted to have a picture there to present, then Dungeon Alchemist will let you just take a snapshot at whatever angle you want, whatever zoom you want, and just save that as a picture. So you don't necessarily have to have it with the grid from the top-down angle or any of that stuff. You can just have a picture of what you've designed there for players to use and kind of navigate around as needs be. But we've got... It's funny, actually. It didn't treat this one as a door. But it did treat this one... Oh, there was a door behind it. That's why. There was a door pre-existing. So yeah, you can change that and muck around with that as you like. And there's our little fungeon. We also have our... What do we have? We have our second one that we made. Let me reopen Dungeon Alchemist there. And get the second one going in. Don't crash. Don't do it. There you go. Boom. Okay, so... There you go. So yeah, you can also just, you know, take a couple of snapshots, take a couple of these, file, export as image only. Although, can you change that? I don't know. It's early access. And I barely knew what I was doing anyway to begin with. So I'm afraid I probably can't do too much to help. But we're going to open up our other map, our Discrete Ugly Coyote Retreat, which was Discrete Retreat and Coyote Ugly, which became Ugly Coyote. So same story. Here, we got our map. We got our different views. We have this one, File, Export. We're going to go Foundry again. Perspective gives full 3D walls, but it can interfere with the grids a little bit. Not usually an issue, but it can be depending on which way you like it. So I'm going to go with limited perspective again, and render the lights, and do our usual export. That's exported now. Again, try and hide Steam's like pasting my friend's information on there. Continue, file, exit. We don't need you no more. We go into scene, create scene, discrete, coyote, ugly, retreat. Boom. That's fine. Right click, import data. Choosing our file for our JSON file, import, and then right click configure, and choosing our background image here. Did I select a file? Oh no, I selected a JSON file when I should have selected a JPEG. There you go. 2 new maps. The Limp Noodle. Thank you and apologies, it is the Limp. Well, it can be the Limp Noodle if you want. That's up to you. I am normally invisible on Steam. I'll figure it out for the next one. So like that, same deal. This one has a little bit more going on for it. It doesn't do collision for trees and stuff like that, but considering that can be tricky anyway because you're under like leaf cover and stuff, it's, you know, I don't think that's really an issue. You've got your windows, they work as windows should. You can see right on in there. And you've got your doors and walls working as they should. I cannot move beyond those bounds. It is a great little piece of software. You've got all your lighting and stuff in there. Sources working as they should too. Although I do want to see if I cut these, although it's probably going to keep it bright because it's daytime. Let's find out. This still looks like a bright room. If I transition this to nighttime, and there's plenty of windows there, but if I transition it to nighttime... Okay, there you go. So you've only got some fog of war going on here to that this token is navigating by in this room. You've still got some light from some other rooms. It's great. Foundry's a great tool if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, it's not great, but stick on a couple of these. There you go. Now we got some lights on in here. Foundry also lets you have your light sources look kind of different, so we can change our animation here to that of a torch. And there you go. You got that going on. You can set that across the board. You can do all that sort of stuff, and you know, stick a few NPCs in there, and boom, you're ready to go. So now, with a couple hours work, more than is necessary really, might have belabored a little bit, we could have thrown this together very quickly. If you were happy with like the randomized contents that were generated, you could probably throw 2 of these maps together in like 15 minutes. You know, just moving some basic stuff around and making sure you're happy with the overall layout. Get them in, upload them, and you're done. Great. If map making isn't your forte, and it's not really mine, then it's super, super helpful tool. So that's Dungeon Alchemist, and I think it is one of the best solutions going there for virtual DMs. And real life DMing, you just get pictures and stuff. Get your battle maps printed out. And with that, this is the discreet Ugly Coyote Retreat. Below it sits the Fungin, place for discerning adult communities of all persuasions, let's say. There you go. I turned the lights off now. Now it's dark and spooky and sexy. Spexy. So yeah. Thank you so much for joining me on this. I'm gonna put away from this now. We've seen enough of maps and my sordid creations. That's the one. So, thank you very much for being here on a Saturday afternoon or morning, depending on where you are. I hope it was fun. I hope you got a good idea as to what these programs are all about. Maybe some ideas for your own home games. My name is James. I go by Zugdboy, Kyle, or Umbra, depending on what you watch, if you watch any of D8 Dungeon's other stuff. We stream Rise of the Forsaken, and we stream Saving Grace. The 2 streams we got going on: Saving Grace every second Thursday, Rise of the Forsaken every second Monday. There's a podcast called Romance in the Dungeon, which is out on its 2nd season now. And we have a couple of other bits in the works, like our charity one-shots and stuff that we have coming on in the next month. If you fancy joining in on those or having an opportunity to jump in, DM, help out, whatever for charity, then you can find more information in our Discord server. Declan is also going to be running a kind of text-based RP thing that will take place in the world of Romance in the Dungeon that you can join in and influence as well. Other than that, we got a bunch of other stuff going on. Check our socials. Check our Discord, check our socials, you'll find out. And I, again, hope you had a good time. If you didn't, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, me personally. We're going to leave it there for now. I hope you have a great Saturday and a great weekend. And that's it. Bye-bye.